Two, one. Welcome to No Touch Screens, episode 22. My name is Adeyemi Adesoya, and today we'll be talking about the new La Liga season. And I am joined by, interestingly, I just hope that I can keep the peace in this makeshift studio today. I have, let me start from the champions of Spain. I have Joseph Bassi, aka Joe Bast. He supports Real Madrid. Joseph, welcome to No Touch Screens.
Welcome, Yemi. I'm great to be here. It's fantastic. Can't wait to eat these guys on this new La Liga campaign.
And I will go to the team that finished second, but unfortunately had a season to potentially forget. I have none other than Olawale Agbede representing the guys from Catalonia. Wale, welcome to No Touch Screens.
Good afternoon, Yemi. Good afternoon to all our viewers. I am proud to be here because I last season I sort of predicted the kind of season Barcelona had, and I feel vindicated a lot. And I hope that I can bring some more, progressive,
Some more predictions to the fore.
More progressive, attacking, attractive analysis to the conversation.
No problem. And also, I have a very old friend of mine, even though the man's affiliation continues to worry me. But today he's wearing one of those hats that I know he has. He supports the other Madrid team, and none other than
Please, Mr.
Oluwafemi.
Yemi, be more specific. The Junior Madrid team.
Okay, sorry, the Junior Madrid team.
Yeah.
None other than Oluwafemi German. German, and you see, you can't be German again. Welcome to No Touch Screens.
Good afternoon to you, Yemi. Good afternoon to everybody listening. And Atletico Madrid is the name, but there's a reason why A is before the Madrid. So you can call us the A Madrid.
Okay. No problem. No problem at all. So let's get into it very quickly, guys. Last season, obviously, Real Madrid, did absolutely fantastic, especially after the lockdown, the run they went on, just put them in a position to, win La Liga. Of course, Barcelona decided to press the self-destruct button by firing Ernesto Valverde in January, top of the league. But then the season ended in total disaster with what happened in the Champions League. Atletico Madrid, on the other hand, if there was a season that I felt that they should win the league, it was last season. But somehow they stumbled and got to third place. So let me start with the junior in the panel, Femi Jama. What kind of season do you expect this La Liga? What kind of La Liga season are you expecting?
First, I take offense that you call me the junior. We don't appreciate that. We respect Real Madrid for who they are, but we are Atletico Madrid. And like I said, there's a reason why A is before the Madrid. Now, what kind of La Liga season do I expect from Atletico Madrid? Well, I expect a season better than last season. I expect a season where the pressure of last season won't get to us. And I say pressure because last season, quite a number of new faces in the side. Felipe, Hermoso, Marcos Llorente, Renan Lodi, then the big summer signing, Yao Felix came, and it was a lot of chopping and changing, a lot of new faces in the dressing room. And furthermore, last season, there was no commander-in-chief of the defense. I'm gone are the days where we had Diego Godin and Miranda. Last season, yes, Jimenez, more like the old head in there. Oblak, more like the old head, but too many chopping and changes. Yes, injury didn't help Diego Simeone, but when all the defenders were fit, we weren't sure if it was going to be a Felipe Savic partnership or Jimenez Felipe partnership. We weren't sure about that. So going into this season, these faces know themselves. These faces know that we have to give it a go, especially with all sorts happening at Barcelona. And to be very honest, Real Madrid don't look like like all conquering. They don't look like a team that can beat everybody. And so going into this season, I'm sure El Cholo, that's the gaffer, Diego Simeone, will look at his side critically and know that one more addition, and when I say one more addition, I mean in the attacking position, that's center forward. Yes, all due respect to Diego Costa and Morata and Vitolo and Carrasco, who helps out from the wings, but we need a striker. We need somebody that can guarantee 18, 20, maybe 22 goals per season. So going to the season, I'm sure a lot of Atletico Madrid fans are optimistic about it. So we're very, very confident going into the season.
Wale, what kind of season are you expecting? Is Wale there?
Well, I think it's going to be very. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Wale.
Can you hear me? Yemi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Wale.
All right. I think that it is going to be a very. I think it's going to be a very unpredictable season. In the sense that nobody sort of has a clear idea of what it is that Barcelona are trying to do. And I say this because, like I always say, they say things in media and do things differently in reality. They announced Pjanic, one of the major talking points around FC Barcelona in the last couple of weeks, especially after crashing out of the Champions League, was the average age of your starting 11 against Bayern Munich. It's the oldest the club has ever fielded in a Champions League encounter. And the Barcelona president was on Barcelona TV talking about how youngsters will get a better chance. The likes of Ricky Puig and Suati, I think they will still get a chance. But the squad is still considerably very, very old. And Ronald Koeman has come with all the Messi's going to get privileges. We have to play a certain way. Some people have to play certain positions. You see, these things are very exotic when you are lining them up in English or in Spanish vocabulary. But when you begin to analyze the specifics, then you find out that, playing Frankie de Jong as the best line midfielder in a midfield that we have most likely two 30-year-olds also flanking, it makes absolutely no sense. All right. So it makes sense to play Frankie de Jong in the position he was playing the Coman in the Netherlands. Fine, he plays well there. But he plays behind Donny van de Beek and one other midfielder who is ready to put in the legs to run. So again, like I said, Barcelona, they seem to sort of have an idea of what they want. They fantasize about it. But the reason why I feel it's going to be unpredictable is because Ronald Koeman could perform magic. I'll give him the benefit of doubt. But going into the season, I don't expect anything magnificent. I think if the squad stays as it is, I don't expect fireworks at the Camp Nou this season.
You don't expect fireworks at the Camp Nou this season. Well, let's go to the defending champions, Los Blancos. What kind of season are you expecting, Joseph Bassi?
Well, yeah, I expect the season where Real Madrid will get to consolidate on their league title. I feel that what Zinedine Zidane has been able to build is a very, very strong squad, stronger than any other team in the league for sure. Their league title last season was more impressive because they were able to do it without their marquee signing Eden Hazard, who really struggled with fitness issues all through the season. And to have a squad where everybody contributed an inch into the success of the side says a lot about the mentality and the temperament of this team. The big question, obviously, will be the aging squad. Who are the core? Who is the core of the team? Guys like Sergio Ramos, Modric, as well as Karim Benzema, who will be, I think, 33 by December. So those are the core of the team, and as we know right now, they are aging, which means that we enter into this season with the fourth phase of Florentino Perez's vision that he projected around 2014 or so, where he signed Martin Odegaard and entered into a phase of signing youngsters who would come and basically run the things after these guys leave. Guys like Madrid, and they've gotten the first phase of it. Martin Odegaard is back into the squad, and lots of expectation from the 21-year-old. And given his success as we also said that last season, definitely adds a bit of dynamism to that Real Madrid midfield, which makes it stronger really. Because if we saw anything about Real Madrid's midfield, at some point they look jaded, and they lack energy as well as dynamism in the midfield, especially when teams sit back and defend. But Martin Odegaard, adds something very, very, very unique into the side. He breaks in the lines and supplies a lot of quality passes in the final third. I think that would be very, very important for guys like Karim Benzema, Vinicius, as well as Rodrigo. Vinicius is supposed to kickstart what he has built, in the last two seasons. You feel like he is the kind of guy that has potential to become a world star, but also we have seen tendencies from him to produce greatness, but also look like a Nigerian league player, basically, with no insult to any Nigerian league player. So he sometimes he can raise his quality very, very high, and sometimes he just does some really, really naive youngster things on the field. So this season is a chance for him to prove himself. We are hearing fitness issues from Eden Hazard. It seems like he hasn't gotten past his fitness problems since he arrived at Real Madrid, which means that Vinicius will probably get a chance in the team a lot more. There's guys like Luka Jovic as well, who a lot of people, me personally as well, expect great things from. So Real Madrid is a really, really balanced side when you look at it. Yeah, young stars who can really, really do something great, and as well as old guys they can look up to, that will give them and drive them and give them experience. Who have gotten the know-how of winning titles all through their career. So this will be a very, very interesting season for me. I think that Real Madrid obviously are favorites to going into the season, but for me, it's how the young stars develop is what I'm more interested in rather than the old guys, because guys like Modric is in the final phase of his contract. Sergio Ramos has been given a 2-year contract. So how those guys fare would not be so important. But the future of Real Madrid would depend how Odegaard, Rodrigo, Valverde, as well as Vinicius do in the season, as well as Luka Jovic.
Let me ask Wally this. The main talk throughout the summer has been Lionel Messi, Lionel Messi, Lionel Messi. Will he stay? Will he go? Obviously, he's eventually come out to say he will stay. He has just 1 year on his contract. The unpredictability of that issue is one thing on one side, but I want to ask this, and you being the Barcelona fan, can La Liga survive another superstar departure? Now, I'm saying this because 2 3 seasons ago, Cristiano Ronaldo left, and a huge void, has been created, especially in when it comes to a classical. Do you think La Liga can survive their main superstar leaving for, let's say, the Premier League?
I don't think the league would, and I'll tell you why. I think because in terms of the kind of PR strategy that the La Liga led by Javi Tebas has implemented the last couple of years, it's always been about star players. The way the league is branded, it is more of who are the big players in the league. That's why when El Clasico is coming, the conversation is about the head-to-heads between the stars. When it was Lionel Messi versus Ronaldo, it was Pep Guardiola versus Jose Mourinho. Then we had Neymar, Gareth Bale as the undercards in the El Clasico. So I think that it's been a player-based strategy for La Liga. In contrast, you go to a league like England where
Hello,
the
Wally?
popularity of the league, the branding and the marketing of the league isn't tied to star players. It is tied in part with the fans, in part with how much television content is being able to be derived from the league. So I think that that's something that if La Liga loses Lionel Messi would really affect the league, because the whole essence of the perception of La Liga is tied to star players. And Lionel Messi leaves, you struggle to see I think Eden Hazard is a star in his own right, but the fact that he hasn't lit up the league in his first season, if Hazard had lit up the league last year, I think that maybe Hazard would have fit into it seamlessly, right? Because La Liga will project more of a lot of his positives. But if Messi is right, their star player strategy of trying to market the league, I think will cripple the league in terms of branding seriously.
Okay, let me ask Femi this one because he's the one cutting between El Clasico. That from what Wale has said, is it about time La Liga went back and had a rethink about the entire strategy of which they've used to promote the league and go with the quality of the league as a whole and not just the star players?
Well, it's not exactly up to the La Liga to do that. I mean, the clubs should be able to attract players that they deem fit. But having said all that, you get the feeling that most of these clubs, and when I say most of these clubs, I mean take away the two Madrid clubs, you take away Barcelona, maybe Sevilla. The other clubs don't exactly have the financial muscle,
especially with Valencia that are doing the fire sale now.
Yes. I mean, so a lot of them don't have that financial muscle to bring in stars. And you could say, okay, if you can't get stars, if you can't get the gladiators on the pitch, maybe you can get the cooks. I mean, like they say, you need great ingredients to make a good meal. And so you can't get money to get great ingredients. Maybe you should get a great cook. Unfortunately, the Premier League are beginning to get all the great coaches. I mean, Ancelotti, Klopp, you name it, Guardiola, Mourinho, everybody's flocking to the Premier League. So for the La Liga body, I think they really would have to invest. I don't know how to do it, maybe it's television money, whatever, to ensure that these clubs have some financial capacity to bring in, maybe not established stars, but stars that you know that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they will definitely be at their optimum. Maybe go to the Bundesliga, maybe go to Portugal. Now, the Premier League is doing everything now. The Premier League will go to Bundesliga, get the young stars. The Premier League already have the established stars. The Premier League are getting the big coaches. So the Premier League, they are more like swallowing everything. The La Liga will have to think hard, because if this doesn't happen, then if the big stars, Messi, Eden Hazard, Gareth Bale, indeed, I saw a report this morning that Gareth Bale might be on his way out of Spain. If these guys go, then honestly, the La Liga, I'm afraid, might be on the same level as the Portuguese league.
Well, let me ask Joseph this. So, outside the top 4 teams that finished in the top 4 positions last season, what is your take on the, and I'm going to use this word, and without due respect to all those involved with Valencia, what's the madness going on in that place? Yes, we agree that, COVID-19 and all that has come into play, but the way Valencia are selling their players, getting rid of their players, every day their player is linked with one move or the other, and I don't think they're extracting full value. Can we consider a team like Valencia a team that will struggle this season?
I personally picked them as relegation candidates. Femi was talking about having a great cook, but a cook can be as great as its ingredient, and that's the story of Valencia right now. They have a great cook in Javi Garcia, one of the most tactical managers that we know in Spanish football, as well as he did his business as well with Watford in the Premier League last season and some seasons before. This is a great manager who can get the best out of a limited squad. But the squad that Valencia are handing to him is a death sentence. It's almost like he's set up to fail, the job. They have guys, they have guys like Gamero and Maxi Gomez right now to depend on. And they sold Rodrigo to Leeds United for 30 million. They sold Ferran Torres, their biggest prospect, in years as well. They also have sold, Coquelin. They let Danny Parejo go. And these are Gabriel has been, his contract has been terminated after, or I think terminated or expired. But all of these things, all of the decisions the club have made have been puzzling to say the least. It feels like the club are not on their way back to the top anytime soon. They are expected to struggle mightily this season. I think that what Celades was able to do last season was a miracle. To get the squad playing that well in the final half of the season. But this season, it looks like he's going to catch up with them, especially because they have let a lot of firepower go without necessarily replacing them. If you look at the arrivals in Valencia, it is nothing to write home about. It's almost like this is another Alaves or another Elche from the Secunda B. It doesn't look good for Valencia at all. I think that they will struggle mightily. They've usually struggled from the start of the season in recent season, but this season it looks like it's going to affect them towards the final part of the season as well, because they don't have a great squad that can compete, as well as they don't have a marquee player that can carry the team on his back. Maxi Gomez might have, dropped in double digit last season, but I don't think that he's the kind of player that will carry you throughout the season as well. Especially when he will have
10
the
goals in La
creativity
Liga,
of
if
Dani
I'm not
Parejo.
mistaken.
Yeah, 10 goals in La Liga. He doesn't have the creativity of Dani Parejo. He doesn't have the creativity of Ferran Torres. This is going to be a tough season for Valencia. I don't know how they are going to do in the transfer market, but it seems that their debt profile is their major concern right now. And they've sold all of these guys to continue to settle their debt profile. But it seems like, this is what will lead them into the lower division of Spanish football eventually. I mean, we never thought that Espanyol would, drop into the Secunda B right now, but that is where they are. So Valencia, it's a puzzling state for the club. They still don't have the benefit of getting match day revenues due to the COVID-19, which means that financially they will continue to struggle. So I don't see how they are going to get out of this box. This season it feels like it's going to be a season where you will see Valencia between 20th, 19th, and 18th all through the season.
So I hope that is not the case. But
Maybe
if there's
everybody should be like Athletic Bilbao, where maybe everybody should be like Athletic Bilbao, where you don't have too much pressure on the side. You sell for big
exactly,
money when you can sell for big money, and then you sit
yeah,
back,
and sign
relax,
past
get
players
everybody to the
alone.
summerment. Exactly, and so there's no pressure on anybody. If you finish
Yeah, well,
sixth, seventh, fine. If you don't, great.
if I can just chip in, I think that
Yeah,
with Valencia, I think it's more of a management problem. So the meriting guys who own the club have been number one. I thought that there was an ego battle between themselves and Marcelino, who was extremely
yeah,
successful. Marcelino
yeah.
picked up a Valencia side that finished in the bottom half of the league the year before he came in. He came in, took them to the Europa League. I think he did qualify for the Champions League in one of those seasons, won the Copa del Rey. He said some things he shouldn't have said, right? So Marcelino isn't necessarily a saint in this conversation. But I think that realizing that he was overachieving at the club should have led the meriting guys to still let him stay. They let him go, and one of the biggest issues they had is that just like Jose Mourinho at the start of his career, Marcelino had built the squad into a sort of a cult that it was absolutely difficult for any other
For another
manager
manager
to
to
come
come.
in and get those guys to play well. So Danny Parejo was the captain.
I think Celades was
Obviously,
able to
was
get them to work. Celades was able to get them to
no.
work.
What I'm saying is, yes, those guys were playing on the field, right? Because it's their job. But the relationship off the field in the
Field, yeah.
club was at,
That connection.
was at a very it was very low. The players were unhappy at the club, even though Celades. So I don't think anybody is criticizing Celades. I think he did his job. He has done his job
Yeah,
at Valencia. But off the field, led by Danny Parejo, who is the captain, the players and the club not being in sync, and that is the reason why Meriton at the end of the season decided. In fact, they were saying they were going to sell the whole squad. That's what they were saying in the media. Although I know that that's impossible. So, apart from that depth profile, which Joseph has aptly talked about, there's also, I think, a little bit of ego that is playing out there. And I agree. Although, to round off, I think they still have some good players. There's Carlos Soler, who had an indifferent last year, but was very good under Marcelino. We hear that they might also be chasing Andres Pereira from United, who did well with them 3 years ago. There's Geoffrey Kondogbia in their midfield. He's also a player. They still have probably one of the best left backs in La Liga in Jose Luis Gaya, and of
Yeah.
course Gamero and Max Gomez in front. So I think they'll struggle, but maybe not relegate. Maybe not relegate.
Okay, so well, you have
You know, I
mentioned
always
some.
feel as though it's unfair that I always
You
feel
were
as though
saying
it's unfair that whenever there's yes, whenever there's some sort of trouble with the board, then the players take advantage of that, and then everything goes south. The truth is, there's no perfect office. There's no perfect football club. Every football club have their issues. I'm sure there's some people at Bayern Munich that are still bitter over the fact that Kovac was shown the exit door. Yes, I'm sure a lot of people are bitter about that. Go through. Everybody has issues, but when it deteriorates to the extent that
but I'm
you
sure
guys
that
can't do the basics, then that's the problem.
Femi, I'm sure that at Bayern, once they won the treble, those people that were bitter would have. It's okay. We've done well. We have done well. We have
That's
done well.
exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, Yemi. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that when there's a problem, that's why it's called a board. Everybody can't agree. Some people would be bitter about it, but the players should do the basics. The players should make sure that they get the job done. Because when you begin to poke your nose into the business of those high up there, then that's a recipe for disaster.
Let me take
Yeah,
some of the
but
comments.
also Femi, quick. You have to also understand that in football, you are dealing with human beings who have feelings, who have relationships. So I agree that of course it's a workplace, but I keep telling people, and like I said, a lot during Messi issue with Bartomeu. Player power is a thing in football now, and we have
Real
to realize that it is in play, whether right or wrong. It is
or
there,
wrong,
and
yeah.
we have to start accepting it.
It is real. It is real. Let me take some of the comments that we have coming in. Morgan Prince says, "Good afternoon, guys. I'm expecting Real Madrid to win La Liga. They are the more stable side." Gordon Rodico says, "Nice one." Okay, Gordon, thank you very much. Bruce _Wayne_05 says, "Valencia will struggle. They've allowed a lot of players go." Bruce is also saying, Personally think Koeman might struggle due to Messi staying. He clearly had a plan with going young. Well, we have to wait and see. So let's go.
With Bruce. I really do agree with Bruce.
When we get to the part that involves Barcelona, you can make that comment. So, Wale, which team should we consider as a potential surprise team this season? No, going by the not so buoyant transfer activity in La Liga as a whole.
Well, I think that one thing that everybody will be paying attention to. We don't know if they're going to do well or not, but they have the propensity to. I think it has to be Villarreal. That's amongst the sides that are not the regulars. I think last season Julian Lopetegui has shown us that he can have a very good team. In fact, Sevilla went over the league for a couple of weeks last year. So I will not go for Sevilla. I think Unai Emery doesn't also necessarily have a check record in La Liga because his Sevilla side were more successful in Europe and in Spain. But with the conditions, the circumstances in the league right now, I think getting in Dani Parejo in midfield, it goes a long, because they also do have one of the best central midfielders in the league in Manuel Trigueros, who I think hasn't gotten any recognition, but excellent player. And critically, they have so much quality in wide areas. It's almost inexplicable. Don't forget they brought in Real Madrid youngster Tafekusa Kubo alongside the likes of Samuel Chukwueze. So I think that what they've done in terms of their business at the back, in the middle, I think should push. And of course, with the experience of Unai Emery, I think that Villarreal might, because I don't trust Emery all the way, they might actually make a push for being surprise packages, maybe getting these places. We know that apart from Barcelona, Real, and Atleti, and Barcelona also shaking, there's always the off chance that fourth place might be open, and I think that Villarreal have to make a push for it.
Femi, potential surprise team.
Honestly, I feel like this is the year for Sevilla. And I say that because been a while they got their hands on the La Liga title. What, 1945, 46 maybe? And you look at the Sevilla side and you look at how they finished the season last time out. For me, very, very stable team. And the gaffer, Lopetegui, maybe erased the memories of things that happened when he was manager of Real Madrid and maybe for Spain and all that. And you look at the team, and they've got some quality in that team. It's a blend of the old heads and some surprised, or some guys that honestly, I don't remember noticing Ocampos at AC Milan. I don't remember, and I saw quite a number of their games. But last season, I mean, I don't know too many lanky strikers that have got that acceleration. I don't know too many lanky forwards that can do a job out wide and then bring in the physicality, bring in doggedness, and then street fighting ability. I think Ocampos is somebody that they can trust, especially when he has that support cast around him. And they're stable in defense, especially with the combo of Diego Carlos and what's that other guy's name? The guy not too tall. It was Kunde, yes, exactly. I love those guys. Kunde, maybe not the modern central defender. I'm not sure it's up to 6 feet, but what he lacks in height, he makes up in acceleration. Spirit. He makes up in speed and spirit, and he's that guy. And then they also have Rakitic, who has come in for, unfortunately, Banega, who has moved on to Saudi Arabia. And yes, Navas, once upon a time a winger, now a right back. And then when he goes forward, you can still see the instinct of a winger in there. So I really will put my money on Sevilla to shock everybody, because I mean, this is the time. All sorts happening at Barcelona, Real Madrid, like I said earlier on. You won't attach the vocabulary all conquering to Real Madrid. It's just Real Madrid, just favorites. You won't say they are overwhelming favorites. You just say they are favorites. And then there's the Atletico Madrid side that honestly I'm not too sure about. But Atletico Madrid side, judging from what happened last season, they were everything but athletic. So I think Sevilla might shock everybody. I think this is the year for Sevilla. And if it happens, then Lopetegui would most likely be the best manager for Sevilla in a very long while. So money is on Sevilla to finish at least ahead of Villarreal and ahead of Sociedad.
You know, if Sevilla win by some stroke of whatever it is,
they were top of the table for a long time last season. So
after the Europa League victory, I called him the Renaissance man. I might have to go into the dictionary to find something more than Renaissance to describe him, because everybody likes a comeback story anyway. So it'd be nice to see a new winner in La Liga for a change. I think I'm bored with and I know Wale and Joseph will probably abuse me for saying that, but hey, Joseph, potential surprise team. Joseph?
I like what the guys have said. Sevilla looks good on paper, but I think that the big problem with Sevilla is that they don't have a goal poacher. They don't have they don't have a striker who can deliver 20 plus goals in the season for them. They scored 54 goals last season, which is very, very low for any team who is going to win the league. The last time anybody scored that low and still won the league was Valencia, when they had an airtight defense under Rafael Benitez. Sevilla do not possess that, and I don't think that they are going to possess that anytime soon. Kunde and all the likes have been fantastic, but it's also important for them to get Reguilon back. We know United have been chasing, or reports that United have been chasing Reguilon for a while. So Monchi, if he's able to work his magic and try to get Reguilon to come back to Sevilla, will be massive for the club, because he understands the way Lopetegui wants to play, and he interprets his role very, very well. So I think that is very, very important for them. But for me, the surprise package has to be Real Betis. Real
Hmm.
Betis has Manuel Pellegrini back in Spanish football right now. They look like a very,
I
very
didn't see that coming.
yeah. I mean, they are the way they've done their business has been under the radar, really. But they have some really, really good players in there, and a superstar in Naby Fekir, because Naby Fekir
Joseph,
last
you know, tell us that you
season
don't get
showed
Kino.
glimpses of his quality. No be me, no be me.
I think it's fair. It was Femi. Continue.
Yeah. So they have Naby Fekir, who is a superstar in his own right, and he can project, he can carry the team. Also, they have Cedric Canales, Diego Leones from the Mexico Wonder Boy, who can be something really, really, special in the future. Also, they've done a bit of transfer business by bringing Montoya to help their right back position, as well as Claudio Bravo, the old guard, to come act like a backup for the goalkeeper. So they still have Christian Tello, Wanmi, all of this, and of course the Joaquin that never gets old, the fine wine that never gets old. So I feel like this is a very, very settled squad, and they have Mano Pellegrini. This is someone who knows how to work with this level of talent and get the best out of them. We saw what he did with Malaga, and he can do it again. He was able to get Malaga to play in Champions League football and almost minutes away from the semi-final. So this is a really balanced squad, and also a manager who knows how to get the best out of the team. They have a superstar in them as well, Naby Fekir, and they have some couple of young stars who are coming up who can do something great. So, and also there's William Carvalho as well, a solid midfield player and a guy who can do a lot of magic as well. So, this is something I'm really looking forward to seeing Real Betis play. They finished 13th last season. I think that they can go much higher this season and probably stay around the top four, or at best the Europa League. I think that has to be their objective for this season.
Hmm. Hmm. I didn't see Robert is coming, but
Honestly, I
Joseph
don't.
makes a very, very valid point with Mario Pellegrini, and obviously, I always like when managers pop up in places, especially managers who have been probably, you know, considered finished. I always like it when they pop up somewhere and
Well,
they're
like he
able to
popped up at
prove.
West Ham.
It's from West Ham that they said it's finished now. So he's popped up at Real Betis now. Hopefully, he's not
Okay.
finished, like people have said. So let me start with Femi, since Femi spoke there. So who are you looking at to go down?
Um, of course, the three teams that were promoted.
Why are you so wicked like this?
This no, because the team gets promoted, the first thing the team wants to do is stabilize, like
It's to
get
survive.
yourself into the league. If you can finish 16th, 17th, then you're fine. And for the three promoter sides, Elche, Cadiz, and what's the other one now? Huesca.
Wesker.
Huesca,
All three of them will have to
Huesca.
depend on their home fans, especially Huesca. I think their stadium is about 8, not up to 10,000. So I'm not too sure about it. All three of them for me. I mean, the Spanish league is sort of predictable when it comes to teams that will get relegated. I think the only time I have lost out was last season. I didn't think Espanyol
Yeah,
were going to go down.
Espanyol.
They went down. So this time around, honestly, I feel like the fact that COVID has more or less hampered everything, especially when it comes to signings and getting tickets and all that, it will be difficult. Honestly, I'll be surprised if um, um, Kioska and Elche stay in the league. Maybe Cadiz, because they now have Alvaro Negredo. Maybe, just maybe, he might be the talisman. But honestly, all three of them, I think they'll go back to the second division.
Well, if I were Cadiz, I would take a picture of the league table as it is today. They occupy a very, very nice position there. And that might serve as motivation for them to get through. To get through. Joseph, who goes down?
Um, I know that Wesker will stay up. I think
Okay.
that they have a very,
You
very
know that.
good
I
young
hope you're
manager.
not, I hope you're not saying this
You
West
can
Ham
get
one because there's a certain Nigerian there.
No. He's not even playing. He's not even playing. He's not even playing in the school. He's not a regular in the team. What? How many games did he? I think he's played like 2
I
games.
think he played 4 games last season.
In the last season, so it's not. It's not. 4 games last season. It's not a big component of their squad. But I feel like they have a good manager, a good young manager in Michel, who was brought in last season, and at his first try, he was able to promote them back to the Spanish top flight. I think that's a remarkable thing to do for a club like Huesca, who wasn't by any stretch, favorites to do what they did. Obviously, the La Liga is a different ball game altogether. But I think that the unpredictability that they bring into the league would, hurt and get points on board for them. A lot of teams do not, haven't taken them with a pinch of salt, like they would take the other guys coming in like Elche and Cadiz, because those ones are regulars in the La Liga as well. But Huesca brings a lot of mystery, to La Liga, and I think that for the first few weeks they'll probably get a few points on board, which would help them in staying in the league. For teams that would go, I think one of the bigger sides will go again. After Espanyol, I think that Celta Vigo is next in line.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Just
I
like
think Celta Vigo is next in line.
from what part today?
They
Now.
were lucky to escape They were lucky to escape relegation last season. We all know. They were they were extremely lucky to escape the relegation. I think they were able to maintain their status on the final day of the season by a whisker. I think that they got a surprise win at Granada or so. So we've seen them, especially when the Iago Espas is not playing well or is not fit. They struggle. They struggle mightily, and they struggle for goals a lot. I think their saving grace was his return towards the end of the season. I don't think that they can depend on that. I don't think that they can depend on that, throughout the season. Espas has always been a player who, with all his brilliance, can also struggle fitness-wise. So they haven't done a lot of investments to cover those areas as well. So I think that if Espas, stops playing as great as it does for them, or suffers another huge injury, which he can, because he has always had fitness issues, then Celta Vigo will be in for a lot of trouble. Because last season what we saw was that they were unable to score goals for a long stretch of the season till Espas returned and goals started to tickle in for them. So I think that they will struggle again this season. And if they are not able to address the whole Espas situation and bring in a capable replacement for him, then I see Celta Vigo going down, because their defense is trash.
Wale, relegation candidates. Wale, are you in the toilet? Is one like already? Okay. One like already seems to have, I don't know, disappeared, or he's
Office work.
or he's relieving himself. So let's go to top 4 and Europa qualifiers. And interestingly, nobody has said anything about a team that I kind of admired a lot last season, and that was Getafe. Who are the teams that will be playing just between 5th and 7th? 5th, 7th, 8th? Femi?
It has to be. You have to put Athletic Bilbao in that bracket, because it looks like it's their best right now. They are a team that I like them, because they don't push the fans overboard. They don't bring in signings, and then even when they opened the new San Mamés, it wasn't like they celebrated that with a marquee signing and then broke the bank for somebody. I like the way they go about their business. I like the fact that for them, the big games against the big teams at the San Mamés, and if they can get over that hurdle, then the season is more or less done and dusted. Yes, they try to push for the places between fourth and say sixth, seventh or eighth, but they don't overdo anything. And of course, the striker Williams, like Williams, of course, is the arrowhead, and then he's the guy that um, hasn't been under too much pressure again, because sometimes I like to think their nickname is no pressure, because hasn't exactly um, torn any team apart. I don't remember him getting a hat trick in any game. It's not like he has a
Yeah.
special quality, but he's just there. He's that team, a very stable, a very balanced team. So you have to put Bilbao in that bracket. You also have to put the team from what's the name of it? Sociedad, Real Sociedad in that bracket, because they have a very last time out they had a very young side. I'm not sure if you noticed, they had a very very young side. Yes, they brought in guys from here and there, and especially the guys from Real Madrid, the young Scandinavian Martin Odegaard brought him, and he did very well. Now they have added David Silva, some sort of experience in there, and at some point it looked like they were going to make the top four last season. After the lockdown, everything sort of deflated. But Real Sociedad would hope that they can ignite that fire again and see if they can push for the top spot. And like they say, aim for the stars. At all, you go reach moon. You know that kind of stuff. So they'll try and do that and see what happens. They also have there's this young guy too, under Jivara, under Jivara, very young, talented guy. And I think they will also push. And yes, Una Emery's Villarreal. Yeah, it's about time. I mean, you spoke about managers that a lot of people would have tossed into the bin. I think Emery is in that. Una Emery is in that category. And so, apart from going back to Spain, where he's from and he has some good knowledge of Spanish football, it's also an opportunity for him to tell anyone that cares to listen that indeed he still has that stuff. So I think for the guys that will make it into Europe, not the elite competition, the UEFA Europa League, I think Villarreal will be there, Bilbao will be there, and of course we also said.
Can you guys hear me?
Wale, where did you go to before? There's a sound in the background coming from you. Are you beside the generator? Hello, Wale, are you there? Okay, so whilst Wale sorts himself out, Joseph, Europa League, who are the teams we expect to finish in those positions?
I
Joseph?
earlier mentioned Real Betis. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I earlier mentioned Real Betis. So Pepe Bordalas Magic at Getafe. It will be interesting to see how they do, this season. Um, they have a coach who knows how to get the best out of the squad. Very very limited squad in terms of resources, firepower, and talent, but he continues to work his magic with this squad. But towards the end of last season, we saw that sometimes the manager can do as much magic with the squad like that. They tired out at the end towards the end of the season where they lost out
Yeah.
their top four place, and they almost I think they lost out on the Europa League as well.
Yeah.
At the end of the season. So it's a tough ask, to expect him to do this magic again this season, because I feel like most managers suffer in La Liga, teams don't necessarily improve the squad, in terms of an upgrade in talent. So a lot of managers suffer for it in Spain. They don't have the luxury of like an Ancelotti and Everton to get an James Rodriguez and just do your magic. So he has to work with a limited resources. But I don't expect him to do much with this team this season. A mid table finish like 10th or 11th will be just fine for Getafe. To do it once again, I think that will be a tough ask for what he has been given so far. going into the season. But for me, I still think like it will be the usual contenders. Villarreal, obviously, because of an improvement in the squad. Take Kubo is a special talent, and now they also have Dani Parejo and then Coquelin from Valencia, and also obviously losing Cazola will be a big miss for the team. But you still feel like they have replaced well to carry them for a fight
Yeah.
for a top 4 finish. I don't think that the team is as settled as Sevilla is, but I think that they can give Sevilla and Atletico Madrid, my junior boys, a run for their money. So having Take and having Take and Chukwueze, as well as Parejo and Coquelin. I mean, those three in particular, Take, Coquelin, Parejo, and Chukwueze, is a lot of creativity. And I think that they also have this former Barcelona player. His name skips me right now. The striker, Alcacer. Alcacer,
Oh, Paco
having
Alcacer.
Alcacer is someone that can at least give you 15 league goals in the season. So if he is offered that much creativity, which he's going to get this season, he can go on and shoot at least 15 to 20 league goals if he plays to his talent. I think he's a decent player that can at least be getting any team 15 league goals in a season. So I think that Villarreal should be pushing, and if anything, they should be among the Europa League places. If they don't finish in the Europa League places, it has been an abject failure, a proper failure by Unai Emery, who has a lot to prove. I hope he has woken up with his girlfriend, that disturbed him in Arsenal, so that he can focus on this job.
Well, I'm sure that he won't be going to any press conference having to say good evening. So,
well, he might. Depends on the journalist that asks the question.
He will say it in Spanish, then he will now switch to English if he's being interviewed by an English journalist. Let's see if Wale is back. Wale, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Hear me?
Okay, sorry about that. I was hearing the sound of generator. Okay, so let's move quickly because we are fast running out of time. Give me your top 4. Those that will finish in the top 4, as far as you are concerned.
All right. I think Real Madrid are going to win the league. So obviously they finish in the top 4. I also think that Barcelona will do enough to finish in the top 4. I expect them to finish second. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. But I think they will finish in the top 4. I expect Atletico Madrid to finish in the top 4. That's 3, right? For fourth place, I think Sevilla are favorites. But being favorites in La Liga for a position, especially fourth place or third place, as the case may be, can be very interesting in the sense that we've had seasons where Villarreal are favorites, right? We've had seasons where Sevilla were favorites, like under Unai Emery, and they finished 6th in the league. We've had seasons where Villarreal, okay, I already mentioned Villarreal. Valencia. So I think that it should be a straight-up battle between Sevilla and Villarreal this season. Like I said, I'm expecting a lot from Unai Emery. And you guys just mentioned it. He has a lot to prove after having struggled at Arsenal. So, again, I think Sevilla are favorites. But if Villarreal does make it, I won't be surprised. But I'll stick my head with Julian Lopetegui and Sevilla. So, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and Sevilla.
So, I know how hard it is for a Barcelona fan to say Real Madrid will win the league. I felt the same way too yesterday during our Premier League preview when I said Man City will win the league. Femi, your top 4.
Yeah. I think the title will stay in Madrid. I'll get to that. So between third and fourth.
Why you?
So I feel Sevilla. I feel this is it. This should be it for Sevilla, because like I said earlier on, they had a great end to last season. if they keep Sergio Reguilon, if they keep that guy, if somehow they
It's
can
coming to
twist
Manchester
Real
United, don't
Madrid,
worry.
if somehow they can twist Real Madrid into letting him stay, or maybe they buy him outrightly, then they really will push. Then they brought in someone else from Real Madrid, the youngster Oscar Rodriguez. That guy can take free kicks. That guy and he's so calm. He's calm. He does anything right, he's calm. He does anything wrong, he's calm. So I think that Sevilla will really push for it. Then Barcelona will not finish in the top two positions. And I say that because there are quite a number of issues going on at Barcelona. And like Wale earlier pointed, which I usually have my reservations about, whatever happens in the boardroom affects the guys on the pitch. And you see, too many questions because whatever happens at Barcelona, whichever football game they play, Messi plays well, Messi doesn't play well, the question of if Messi is going to stay or leave will keep popping up. The question as
Exactly.
regards the election next month will keep popping up. Every time Messi scores or doesn't score or takes a free kick, of course, the camera will be on Messi, but the camera will almost immediately switch to Ronald Koeman. Everybody's reading the body language of Koeman. Again, will Suarez stay? Will Suarez go? So I think too many issues at Barcelona, and for the life of me, I don't think they will finish in the top two positions. So I think third and fourth, in no particular order, between Sevilla and Real Madrid. Now let me go to the club that would always holler and do nothing. So Hala Madrid. Um, I feel as though the vocabulary overwhelming is not attached to them being favorites this time around. Yes, they are favorites because yes, they won the league last time out. They are what 11 games. They won 11 consecutive games, and it looks like the bill issue has been put to rest. And Vasquez and Rodrigo are playing very well, and all that. But I feel like there's still the little pressure on Eden Hazard to perform. In fact, the reason why Eden Hazard hasn't been crucified at Real Madrid is because they won the league. If they didn't win that league,
Yeah.
I'm sure he would have been crucified. That's one. Second is Real Madrid. It's high time they did the double. I think the last time they did the double was in what, 88, 89, thereabout? And that's unthinkable for a club like Real Madrid. So there's that on one side. And like I said earlier on, they have to do the treble. There are not too many teams that have done the treble. So Real Madrid, I know too many Real Madrid fans won't come out and say it, but at the back of their minds, they know Zinedine Zidane knows it. Benzema, Sergio Ramos, he knows that this is the time, especially with all sorts going at Barcelona. Atletico Madrid don't look like they are settled. They feel like this is the season for them to push on all fronts. So those things will hang, and I think those things will be the reason why Real Madrid would not win the league. So yes, I'll go for Atletico Madrid to win the league. I say that because in 2014, 2015 season, it was almost the same scenario. Things playing out now. It didn't look like everything was right with Barcelona. It didn't look like everything was right at Real Madrid. And somehow Atletico Madrid won the league. Yes, won it on the final day at the Camp Nou, but still won the league. So I think that this is the season for Atletico Madrid, as long as Simeone can put square pegs in square holes. What do I mean by that? We have to get a striker. There must be somebody. I don't care if it's Cavani or Suarez. Somebody has to come in and get 15 or say 20 goals in the season. And I like Diego Simeone. Diego Simeone is one of those managers that he's an apostle of the 4-4-2, whatever variation. The
As it
variation
should
of
be.
one of the forwards dropping into the midfield to make it a 4-5-1 when defending, the variation of the diamond, the variation of the classic 4-4-2 where you have a holding midfielder, one of the he's just an apostle of the 4-4-2. And another reason why I think Diego Simeone's team will win this season is if, and this is a big if, it's not looking likely, but if Thomas Partey stays. If he stays, then it means that the midfield the midfield that has got Koke, has got Saul, has got what's the guy that came from Real Madrid? Marcos Llorente. All these guys will know that okay, this is the season where we have to push. One of the great things that Diego Simeone did last time was somehow converting Marcos Llorente into an attacking midfielder. So these are the things that will matter. And if Mr. Simeone can tick these boxes, then I can assure you that Atletico Madrid will be there or thereabout come May next year.
I won't say anything, but I will come back to you in May. Joseph, top four.
Well, yeah, me, I'm not the most modest of human beings. But it's a bit of. But I feel like there's a deja vu here. I'm worried about a deja vu. In 2008, I remember vividly in 2008, Barcelona were supposed to be finished. Rijkaard was sacked. A inexperienced Pep Guardiola was brought in. Ronaldinho was sold. Deco was sold. A big core of their team that was so successful between 2004 to 2006 were all sold, and everybody expected Barcelona to at the very least, struggle mightily. And we know what happened. We know what they went on to do in 2007 and 2017 as well. After Real Madrid won the Champions League, there was a big euphoria about how great this Real Madrid team were, and especially in the Super Cup where Real Madrid defeated Barcelona home and away. Um, uh, PK came and said that he has never felt this inferior to Real Madrid. He felt, and again, there was a new manager that was coming in, Ernesto Valverde. That season was the season they were supposed to be battered and bruised and almost buried. But they came in and won a league double that season. And they went on to win a league double after that. So it's a bit of a deja vu. Now Barcelona has also been crucified before the league started. And everybody expects Real Madrid to go on and win the title. And I fear that Real Madrid almost they don't like this pressure. They don't like being tagged as favorites. They like the pressure of fighting for it, but they don't like the pressure of being the team everybody expects to win it. So it's a bit of a worry for me. And again, we might say this is a better than Bulls Barcelona, but also there is a Lionel Messi who has something to prove. And when Lionel Messi has something to prove, the squad might not be as good to do it in Europe, but he has the talent to carry them in the league. And we've seen it throughout his career. So it's a bit of a worry for me. And I'm going to be honest about it because it's okay. And it's obvious that Real Madrid have the best squad in the league. They look the most settled side in the league, and they are obviously favorites. But Real Madrid do not thrive on being favorites, especially in La Liga. Real Madrid thrives on having to fight for it, like they did last season, fight for it, where the pressure to fight, is there. Last season as well, when they were on top of the league and they were looking like okay, everybody's favorite to go on and do it. They struggled before COVID-19 kicked in, and they almost lost the league title. But after COVID-19, where they had to fight an 11-game season, a dog fight, then that's where you say the best of Real Madrid. So I'm a tad worried about being tagged as a favorite, but I would still say that Real Madrid will win the league.
Well, there you go.
But
so it's all these two. We talk now.
Exactly. There you go.
Yes, but
even though I agree with the number. Wait, hold on, Joseph. I agree with a lot of things you said.
The certainty everybody brings to the table is not what we're going to bring to the table.
I agree with a lot of things you said, though.
I'm not saying about it. A lot of people are almost.
You were saying?
So I think that Real Madrid,
Joseph,
number one. I still think Barcelona are still. Real Madrid number one. Barcelona has to be number two, obviously, because as long as there's still Messi there, they are going to be in a title race for sure. And Ronald Koeman, is not a bad manager coming into your team. This is a guy who can do a bit of magic in his own self. We saw him do it with Southampton as well as Everton. It didn't go well at the end, but he can do something with this squad. I don't think that this squad is as bad as it's painted, but I think that Barcelona will be in the title free. I don't think that the title will be won by a long stretch. I think that it will still go like last season was a dogfight. It will be a dogfight as well. Um, Atletico Madrid should settle for third, obviously, like every other year. Um, Sevilla should be fourth. I think that the league table will probably look the same way like as it was last season,
Same way as last season.
but yeah, but we're having Villarreal and Real Betis and maybe Athletic Bilbao for the Europa League places.
Hmm. Okay, I agree with a lot of things Joseph said, especially as it concerns Barcelona and the fact that Real prefer to fight for it. You know, the underdog nature of Barca at this time might just play into their hands and everybody not looking at them and then they sneak in and win the title. I kind of agree with it. So, on a final note, let me take some of the final comments we have, then we'll sign up because we've gone above time. St. Bio says, I also believe Villarreal might be the surprise team with Wale. Adebola Taiwo says, I doubt Villarreal considering that Santi has left the club. He says again, even Sevilla may not perform as expected because their best midfielder has left. Well, they've kind of done some good business to sort that out. Victor Oluwafemi is asking whose child was crying some minutes ago. I think it's Femi and Liu's child. Even though he quickly went off air and put his mic on mute. It's Femi and Liu's child. So, um, final word to you guys. Wale, who wins the Pichichi?
I think that I can't look beyond Lionel Messi, and that's quite. It's a little bit more difficult to predict this year, not because of ability, but because nobody knows which is going to turn up. The Messi who still wants to play at Barcelona, or the Messi who has decided to play at Barcelona, or the Messi who just doesn't want to play at Barcelona anymore, but he's at Barcelona because he hasn't been allowed to leave. So, but there's no way you go into a season with Lionel Messi in La Liga and you think that someone else is going to win the PGT. I think Karim Benzema, if he has the kind of 18, 24 months he's had this last couple of years, I think he will push him. I think he's going to push him. We don't know the Griezmann we're going to see playing through the middle on that Ronald Koeman. We don't know. But he also has the ability. He has shown us at Atleti that he can score goals. But I think that it has to be between those three. I don't see any underdog from any of the smaller teams coming in. I don't think Atleti with Morata or Costa or Felix has, I don't think they have a player who can compete. I think Benzema, maybe Griezmann, Lionel Messi definitely has to be odds on choice.
Okay. Joseph. Joseph.
Well, you can't look beyond Lionel Messi. Um, he's obviously the best goal scorer in the league, and I think that he will still carry on, regardless of the mindset that he is in right now. I think that either he wants to leave Barcelona or either he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. The man loves football and he loves scoring, so he will still turn up and still score those goals because he's the best goal scorer in the league. Because even when you look at the other competition that he has on him, um, maybe Suarez or Karim Benzema. Suarez, has been limited so far. He's not even there. I don't feel like Suarez is there physically. He looks like he has added a few pounds, and I think that Suarez has a lot to work on himself physically. Benzema is not a prolific goal scorer like that. I think that Benzema won't score um, won't be having like a 30, 40 plus goal season because of his style. He's too all rounded for him to be in those positions where he will get a lot of goals because he likes to be part of the play. So in terms of system, Bazina doesn't allow himself to be, in the running for a Pichichi. But I think it's still going to be Lionel Messi.
And Femi.
I have to agree with the gentleman. It has to be Lionel Messi because first, Atletico Madrid, Diego Costa won't get many goals because himself and Morata would keep chopping and changing,
Yeah.
and then he would argue so much with the ref that he won't have enough strength to score goals, and then Morata will miss a lot of one-on-ones and penalties and all that. So definitely not coming from Atletico Madrid. The guys from Sevilla, I don't think any of them would.
I don't think they have 20
get
goals
to
in them.
20. No, I don't think they've got 20 plus in them. Has to be Lionel Messi, especially if Suarez leaves that club, because he will do everything. He'll play all the penalties. I mean, those penalties that he would, on a very good day, leave for Suarez. He will play all those penalties. He'll take all the free kicks, balls he could square. He will shoot because he's maybe, if you like, saying that, look, you can't,
Bye-bye.
assuming Memphis Depay comes around and then Suarez leaves, of course, he will do everything. On a very good day, Messi can get you 30 plus. And when Messi is angry, that number won't deteriorate.
Can
That
we
number will go up. So Messi, honestly, I think Messi can do 35 next season.
It promises to be a very interesting season. Let me round up with the girls. So Femi, thank you for joining us. Your club is not so important in this question now. Finally, what can we expect? What can we expect from a Clasico this season? Joseph, you first, because you are the one that won the Clasico last season.
I think for a Clasico, what we have to look up or what we have to look forward to is if Barcelona can score Real Madrid.
Okay, Wale, what can we look forward to the Clasico as we sign out? Wale, with it.
Yeah, me?
I think that
me?
we have to look out for.
Femi, hold on. Yes, Wale.
Yeah, I'm here. We have to look out for how Real Madrid how Real will approach the games. And I say that because I'm here. I say I'm looking forward to how Real will approach the two El Clasicos because for Real, for the better part of the last 15 years, there hasn't been a sustained period of dominance. That's in terms of that head-to-head with FC Barcelona. Barcelona even in seasons where Real get it, and the next season Barcelona comes back and shoves them off their perch. So for Real, this is a very important
Wale,
it's a pivotal
I think I'm losing
couple
you
of
there.
El for them in the league. Because Barcelona, on paper right now, we're not expecting prime Barcelona. We're not expecting anything close to prime Barcelona. So, for the opportunity to absolutely trample them, if they don't, then I think that there have to be questions. Femi already asked questions about Real. I think Real have the most.
Wale, your network is breaking, so I can hardly hear what you're saying.
Project in La Liga. I disagree a lot with how Femi has project. But look, if they don't
Okay, so guys, Femi, final word.
Yep.
So as we go out, because I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Well,
Final word.
for me, or final words for me is we'll see what happens between Ronald Koeman and Messi. Koeman was once upon a time the guy that knew his way around the Barcelona ship. Remember, he was an integral part of the all-conquering Johan Cruyff era. Now he's back as the captain of the ship. But the guy that knows a lot about the ship is Lionel Messi. And remember, they had a conversation and it didn't exactly go too well. And honestly, I feel like Ronald Koeman would have had it a lot easier if Lionel Messi had walked. Messi is staying, so we'll see how those egos will clash. But all said and done, I think the La Liga will be fun as in fascinating, fun as in unpredictable, and yes, fun as in nerve-wracking. So yeah.
Thank you guys for joining in. We've obviously when you're having fun, time flies when you're having fun.
It does.
Far above the allotted time. But I do appreciate you guys. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Wale Agbede, for joining us. Thank you to all those that signed in and watched, sent their comments. Thank you very much. You can join me at 4 p.m. for something new that I'm doing. It's called Football and AI. I'll be having Dr. Luce Yakide joining me on that one. So it's a contest between man and machine. So I would have Damilola joining me in the studio as it goes up against the AI to predict the 8 Premier League games this weekend. Dami won my Ogufe and Cognac prediction competition for last season. So he's going one-on-one with the AI. And hopefully, if he wins, he gets 10,000 Naira cash. And we'll be doing this every Friday at 4 p.m. So please join me 4 p.m. for Football and AI right on this platform. Thank you, everybody that's joined in. Have a lovely day.